Hey, how's it going, guys? My name's Tujin. Welcome to MBT Studios, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Topping Dx7 Pro. This is a headphone amplifier, a DAC, and a preamp all in one. Let's see how good it is. So this unit itself I bought with my own money. It was on Amazon with Prime shipping, and I really wanted to try it out. And I don't regret it, to be quite honest. It's quite competitive. In the past 2 years, DACs and, all-in-one units have been really competitive. In fact, there's something new almost every 3 months, but this Dx7 Pro really caught my attention. So it has an ESS 9038 DAC Pro, which is kind of the flavor these days with a lot of DACs having that chipset, DAC chip, and it has a decent amount of power. Now, the I/O in the front has a balanced XLR, balanced 4.4, and a single-ended 1/4-inch jack with an OLED screen and a nice knob. On the back, you get a multitude of inputs from USB, optical, coaxial in, AES, I2 squared, let's see if I'm missing anything, and Bluetooth. And the Bluetooth is 5.0 with LDAC support. So yes, there's quite a bit packed into this small chassis. And then to top it all off, the power supply is integrated inside, so you're using a regular computer power supply cord, and you have RCA and XLR out. Now, this unit gets me excited because it reminds me of the Army ADI-2. It comes with a remote, and there's quite a few things you can do with this remote. One thing is that I did mention that it's a DAC and preamp. So to enable it to be a pure DAC with the line outs, you hold this volume knob in and you switch on the unit. There you get into a secret menu where you can switch between the preamp function and the DAC option. Now, the preamp is great if you have a power amp or powered monitors that you want to control, or some other unit where you need volume control. The line out is great if you already have an integrated amp with its own separate volume control. Now, in my case, I not only use this unit as a headphone amplifier / DAC for my headphones, but I also use it to give signal to my Hugo H190 to function as a DAC, which powers my speakers, my KEF R100 speakers, and R400 subwoofer. And the cool thing about this unit is that with this remote, I have a dedicated line out button and a dedicated headphone out button. So with the push of a button, I can switch between my headphones to my speakers, which is fantastic. Now, the screen at the front is an OLED. It's really vibrant and you can dim it, which is nice with this remote. And the cool thing is that it has these nice refinements. What I'm talking about is, let's say you are done using your DAC, you have this in a bedroom setup. Well, when there's no signal, you turn your computer off, the display turns off. So you have a bit less light pollution, I guess, in your room, and it shows there's small things that make this unit really nice. And I wish all DACs kind of followed this format, just in terms of usability and convenience, because I don't think it's that hard to really add. Now, you also get other buttons such as volume control, the filter adjustments, which to my ears really did not make a difference. And the line out is really cool because whether you have it in DAC or preamp mode, you have control over the RCA and XLR outputs. So you can have both of them running, or just the RCA or just the XLR, and it remembers that. So when you switch from headphones to line out, it remembers what your previous line out feature was. And in headphone out, it remembers the exact volume that you had your headphones set up. So it's just a little bit more convenient, and it adds up over time, which makes this unit even more cool. And to top it off, finally, you get swappable op amps. So if you want to tune the signature or just, upgrade the amplification, well, in terms of the IC chip that does it, you can. And I hit up Sparkle Labs, and they actually set me up with the right op amps for this unit. And I'm going to talk about that with the sound. So let's get right into it. So let's talk about the headphones first that I used to pair with just the stock ICs and what I thought about it. Well, the reason I really upgraded my headphone game, or just to this unit, and why I bought it, is because I had Abyss Diana V1s and some demanding planars in my room. And I wanted to give it enough power and enough juice, and my Fostex HPA8 was just not doing it. So stepping up to 1.6 watts to 32 ohms, you know what? It seemed about right. And, you know, being an all-in-one unit, it was very attractive. Now, there is another unit out there that's kind of close to it, and that's a Sabotage D5, which is about $200 cheaper, give or take. And while that unit was, I mean, it's incredible value, it does not feature as a straight DAC. It's more of a preamp out, and it doesn't have the refinements of this unit. In fact, this unit has better capacitors, better components, and how does that translate to sound? Well, if you want this little short comparison, I'm just going to add it in. This is a brighter sounding unit, a bit more forward in presentation, and that's something that you need to keep in mind when pairing headphones. So in the case with the Diana V1s, which are a bit more reference tuned compared to the V2s, in case you wanted to know, it does come off a bit fatiguing over time. Now, it's a pretty good experience. The power definitely helps with the bass impact, and those headphones are incredible. Maybe I'll do a review on it in another video, but they definitely do benefit from the power, and of course, adding more power I don't see anything wrong with that. But with the Diana V1s, I was having a pretty good experience, just a bit fatiguing because I am sensitive to a brighter signature. The headphone output, or just the unit itself, was kind of similar to the Hugo 2, although not as open or airy. It has more of an intimate sound, but in terms of detail retrieval and resolution, you're definitely getting it with this DAC, which I feel like is the pattern with all these new DACs these days. So what would I really pair this unit with? Well, the Z1Rs, Sony Z1Rs with this unit was quite a treat. I really enjoyed it, and I was getting detail along with that laid-back signature that the Z1Rs do have with that open, wide soundstage. It was really good, and I really enjoyed it. Hi-Fi arias, same like the Diana V1s, a bit sibilant, a bit bright, and it was just not there for me. It was not something that I would put on my head and enjoy. I would prefer a warmer amplifier or an R2R DAC that's a bit more laid back. So compared to the DACs that I'm normally used to, like the Gunnier Multibit, that has a more relaxed, less forward presentation, but same amount of detail and a bit wider. This is really intimate, and what I did to change that was install the Swappable Op Amps. Now, when you install Swappable Op Amps or any op amps in general, you need to do a bit of research. Don't be like me and get the wrong op amps, because I actually got the single circuit op amps, which does not work with this unit. Luckily for me, I did not install them. I watched a video and figured it out. But this is what you really need to do. So what you do is you open up your unit, you look at the actual op amp that's already installed, you search up that op amp at a website like DigiKey, and you find out if it's a single or dual circuit. The other thing that you need to keep in mind is clearance. Now, Sparco isn't the only place that sells op amps. There's Burson, there's quite a few op amps, but the one thing you need to keep in mind is clearance. You want to see if it fits in this chassis. In my case, I need something that was a bit smaller, so those Burson Vivids or Classics would not work. So Sparco was really cool. They hit me, they lent me those 3602 dual IC op amps, and the results were really nice. I'll be quite honest. I was skeptical when I was getting into op amp rolling, you know, how much of a difference could it make, but it definitely changed the sound. And the experience I was getting just got better. So what really happened when I changed the op amps was that the soundstage did get wider and a little bit less forward. So there was a bit more breathing air in terms of the amplification, which translated to longer listening sessions for me with still the same detail, retrieval, and resolution. I was quite happy with it. A couple of my friends who use Hugo 2s were like really blown away. In fact, I think I have a friend who wants to buy a unit. But yeah, it brings this amp closer to almost a Hugo 2 presentation, hence why I brought it up. And it's a welcome upgrade. Of course, It is going to cost you more. The stock op amps are about $1 to get, while the Sparkos, I believe, are quite a bit more, but it's something that I would recommend, especially if you want to get into op amp rolling, because it does make a difference, and it's a welcome difference that I would gladly pay money for. So, what are my final thoughts on this unit? Well, the Dx7 Pro is almost like a budget Army ADI2, except with better specs. And I think it's actually a really good value option. It's got everything nailed, and I want to see this with more DACs. It really doesn't hurt having a remote and being able to toggle between different outputs. Most people don't just have headphones, they have speakers, and I really appreciate it. I don't know about you guys, but leave a comment down below if you agree. So that basically wraps up my review. I enjoyed this review. I enjoyed this unit. It's probably going to be going to a friend of mine who really wants to pick this up. But yeah, I really wanted to relay what my experience was with this unit, and I hope it helped. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.